So in this course, we have covered all the basic features and all the basic use cases for packages for multi-tenancy. And let's spend some more time, some more videos on a bit advanced features, or what else can we do after we install the package. And probably you would agree with me that the favorite package out of all of those reviewed is Tenancy for Laravel, Architect X Tenancy, or Stencil Tenancy, whatever you call that. tenancyforlaravel.com. So based on that demo project, on that branch, I will continue working on that in this course for upcoming videos, and will introduce a few more features and show how it works in a bit advanced way. In this video, what to do if you want to add something in database structure of tenants. For example, let's take a simple example. You have a tasks CRUD and every tenant has its own database, and you want to add a field there, for example, task description or something like that. What do we do? The key here is this section of the documentation. The package places the migrations in the tenant subfolder, and then to run them, you need to run not php-artisan migrate, but php-artisan tenants migrate. We generate a new migration, php-artisan make migration, add description to tasks table, and then we provide the path database migrations tenant, like this. And where do we get that new file? So we have the database migrations tenant subfolder, and this is the new migration. And here we can add table string description, for example. Let it be nullable, especially if you have already records in the database. And we also add to the task model fillable. So fillable description here. Then we add that field to the create and edit blades. So let's just copy the name field, and there is a drop down for project. So we paste here and have description here instead of name, label for description. No required and no autofocus in that case. Like this. Let's just copy and paste the same thing into edit blade of tasks. So we paste and just change the value to task description, like this. And finally in the index blade, we show that in the table. So let's create another column, description, and copy and paste task description. Okay, we're ready, it seems like. And if we refresh our page, we have empty description, but for example, we can click edit and put in ABCD. I forgot the margin top, and I forgot one more thing. Now I noticed, so in the edit blade, we need to add class margin top 4 in both edit and create, class margin top 4. And then if you notice, the description wasn't saved. That's because in the form request class in the task controller, we're using in store and in update form request classes, and then request validated. Validated returns only the fields that are mentioned in this form request, so only those. That's why description isn't even returned. So description, it's not required, so we'll just put any validation rule like string, and we copy that from store task request to also update task request. And now let's try it all again. Edit something, unknown column description. And yes, I haven't run the migrations. How do we run the migrations? Do we do php-artisan migrate? Actually, let's try to do that. php-artisan migrate, and nothing to migrate. But wait, we did create the migration, so what do we do? And that's why if we go back to the documentation, you need this artisan command. What it does is goes through all the tenants in the tenants database table of the master of the system of the main database, and then goes through all the databases and runs the migration. So if we have the main database of tenancy and we have the user and we have the tenant, that command will go through all the tenants. In our case, it's one tenant, and execute the migrations there. So this is exactly what we will do. php-artisan tenants migrate. And this is the command that you would need to run every time you deploy the project, deploy the code, the changes to your live server or staging server or wherever. you need to have this command as part of your deployment process. We run that, and as you can see, tenant 1, ID 1, and migrated. And if we go back to our database and go to our tenancy_1 database, as you can see, migration has been executed with new batch 2, and we have the field description in here. And if we refresh our request for update, now we have something here. And if we try to enter a new task, something like this, that is also saved. So this is how you can make any changes to your database structure for all the tenants. You generate the migration in the tenants subfolder, and then you run tenants migrate to process the changes into all tenants databases.